those who are present physically and joining this seminar, as well as those who have joined online, they are all experts in the subject area, probably having more experience in research and education related to issues that are posed for this seminar, mainly the climate resilience and environmental sustainability. Fortunately or unfortunately, these two, what I should say, words are currently very complicated. And its impact on education, whether it is the resilience aspect or the sustainability aspect, these are compounded by certain developments that have certainly taken place in the recent past, like the COVID-19. You may wonder why COVID-19 should actually interfere with our education and getting our students climate resilient as far as their opportunity to learn is concerned. Why I'm telling this is because as a layman, I have been observing these days, and even this conference title is basically focused on the educational area, getting room for the kind of impacts that we have and that we expect. That means we actually look at basically two aspects of education. That is, one thing is what we call the curriculum and the content. And the second thing is the educational infrastructure. And I feel that even though we have all the back of our mind, the third fact, I feel that we should actually explicitly mention this because it is a very complex fact. That is the human where. I mean the students. How students perceive climate impacts. How they look at solutions for getting over the impediments. That has actually changed over time. And we have currently, I'm almost sure that our system, unable to cope with the level of their response as well as their action. This is where we have to actually look at what the students want. And what students want will actually differ from the primary education scenario, the higher secondary education scenario, as well as the university level education. These three groups respond totally different. So how to account for these things, especially in the climate crisis? Why am I saying climate crisis? Climate has actually basically affected three factors in our life. One thing is our life itself. COVID-19, not only climate, COVID-19 in particular, challenged life, livelihood, and also learning. Learning in a big way. And we try to have online learning opportunities for students. But we all know that after 1 or 2 years of experience, even though in Kerala, it was actually taken slightly better than the rest of it. India. Even here, we have found out that there are a number of gap areas through online studies students put in. So this is one aspect, and so students may expect education not in classrooms as in the past, but where is a question. It is not in the online domain alone, not in the physical confinement of the rooms. Probably they may want, and I am almost sure that many of them want, a third scenario was something different from these two. I think we should be able to locate and understand. So this is only one aspect, and the other part of the human where is teachers. Teachers also will have to actually think in terms of different methods of helping students to learn. I wouldn't say teach, helping students to learn. So there again, the human where is important. And the next main process is actually what I should say, the factors impacting the resilience. By resilience, we mean, because we all know that, but I only emphasize the particular point that it is actually the ability of the individual. Here, basically, we are thinking about the students and the teachers, the women were they should be able to perceive the impacts and think of devising ways to get over these difficulties or to mitigate these difficulties. And all along, we have been always talking about mitigation and adaptation. But in practice, we find that many times you cannot actually separate actions as mitigation category and adaptation category. These sometimes join together. Or the person who perceives this may have to actually have mitigative measures as well as adaptive measures. Then only you can get over. This is not specific for climate change or any disaster. I still remember after the 2008 presidential elections in Kenya, there was a human disaster there. Two tribes actually fought each other and even burned people alive. One group tried to, it was actually political as well as tribal. Yet, and many people actually became internal migrants. These internal migrants, I came to know of its difficulty when I was actually asked to find out some solutions through energy technology to rehabilitate these people who are actually settled in different parts of Kenya. So when I went there, one physical problem I found was these people, even if they ask for a glass of water in front of a family, they won't give them a glass of water because they don't know whether they are the criminals who did the act or the victims. They know means they can act. They come from different part of the country, so they become totally strangers, and nobody will give them any work. So this was where, at that time, I thought we will try to produce a little bit of renewable energy with whatever sources are available around, and give that energy for these people to do something on their own and earn some income so that they will be. So you will find that there are many other factors influencing your solution. So it cannot be actually put into two compartments like mitigation and adaptation. What I would say is we should actually try to strengthen the capacity, or what maybe we can say capacity building, which will have these two components plus So in the education also, especially in the present scenario, I feel that we have to, especially most of you are researchers, I would actually request you to look at not at this component, but even beyond this, because ultimately we have to find a solution. Economic issue. That is, we know that economy is all over the world, capitalist as well as what we call socialist. Every system has been affected. In many countries, economy are, even though not fully directly acknowledged, uh, little shattered. Maybe it may worsen. Uh, these economic failures will have an impact in your climate resilience, especially in education. You will not be able to spend enough money. Certain industries may be closed or their capacity is limited. So therefore, many of the products and services that you expect may not be available straight away, or it may become costlier. So this again is a big issue. I'm not an economist, I cannot actually look at that way. The fifth point I was thinking was actually the inadequacy of the background information. We always depend upon past historical data. For example, education, if you want to do a project or you want to do some solution, what you do is actually you look at the past and Kerala, what has actually happened over the after forming in Kerala or even much earlier when the education started, organized education started, but none of these things have any relevance in the current scenario, except to a smaller limit. But in the larger part, I think we have to actually, especially the subjects, be more cautious in fully extrapolating on the historical data. So these are the 5 risks, I think, why we have developed some of these issues.
Background
Very well experienced.
पण हे आता माझ्या म्यूट आहे ना.
And I feel that through our discussions we will be able to come to a number of new factors that has to be put into study as well as analysis of what we get out from our intellectuals. Thank you.